KN6DBC, K7TAB, Delta Mike 45.
Good morning. Charlie here with Red Summit RF, taking you along on my Summits on the Air adventures. If you're just joining this channel, please consider subscribing below and hitting that bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video. Well, today I have completed the activation of Baby Black, a SOTA activation, and now I'm moving on to an activation for Parks on the Air. I have with me a friend from back in Phoenix. His name is Chris, K7TAB.
Hola! We're sunset cratering.
Yeah, so neither one of us really do POTA. We're SOTA guys. So we're gonna, I guess, just do this short activation to make sure that since we're in Sunset Crater National Monument, Sunset Crater Volcano National Monument, that we stop and do it. So we're gonna do that, and then we're moving on to the next activation, which is Peak 7711. So we'll do this first, and then if you would catch the video I created before this one and the video I created after this one, if you're interested in those two SOTA activations. So we are at the Overlook for, what is it? What's the Overlook called? No. No. Right now we're at Cinder Hills Overlook. We're set up and ready to go. We don't have any cell service, so we'll see how that goes with the activating without spotting ourselves.
AC9E, K7TAB, Delta Mike 45.
Roger, QSL.
73.
K7 Tango Alpha Bravo, K5 Zulu Mike, Charlie November 85.
K5ZM, K7TAB, Delta Mike 45.
Right, thanks.
73.
K7TAB, KN6DBC, Delta Mike 15.
KN6DBC, K7TAB, Delta Mike 45.
QSL 70 degrees.
73.
7 RP, Whiskey Alpha 6, Delta November Radio, Charlie Mike 87.
Okay, that's a wrap. I activated Sunset Crater Volcano National Monument. I had, I don't know, 15-20 contacts. I guess somebody spotted me because I had quite a few come in. I was worried that I might have been spotted for a SOTA peak, but because I did have an S2S come in, a summit to summit request, so I don't know. We'll see when I get back if that was the case or not. But it was fun, and we got her activated, and it was my first one that wasn't also a SOTA peak that I can remember anyway. And then we also had some satellite work.
Yep, did one pass with AO-91, got a few contacts there. I think a couple of those people needed Delta Mike 45, so hopefully we got somebody to grid.
Well, after completing this activation, I thought I'd take a few minutes and go over how alerts and spotting works for both parks on the air and summits on the air. Because as it turns out, I was indeed spotted for a summits on the air activation on top of Baby Black when I was off peak and I was down in the park doing a parks on the air activation. And this was totally my fault, something I overlooked and should have not done. But I will go over what I did so that maybe you can avoid this same mistake. So let me go to the computer and I will show you how to do alerts and spots for both POTA and SOTA. When you are planning a POTA or a SOTA activation, there is a specific location where you should go to advertise your plans so that chasers can anticipate where you'll be. So if you go and bring up a web browser, and then for parks on the air, I'm just going to do a Google search for that. I don't have that as a favorites yet. And once you're at their website, you'll go to the POTA scheduler, and then from there you can enter in your information. If you scroll down here, you put your activator name, which is your call sign, the reference of the park, and a start date and an end date for when you will be doing this, and then your time, UTC time when you'll be on the hill, and so forth. You put all that information in, click submit, and what ends up happening is it'll show right here on the scheduled activations website. And this is where people who are interested in chasing parks on the air can go in order to see the alerts that are up and find out when somebody might be scheduled to go and do a parks on the air activation. Later, once you are in a park, either you can spot yourself when you are ready, or somebody who hears you calling CQ POTA can spot you by navigating to the activity button and clicking on spotting. And right here, you would go to the add spot button. And when you do, you could put in the information about the person or about yourself that is ready to have people chase. And this is the location where you can find the people who are actually currently on parks doing their activations, or in parks I should say. Regular DX spotting networks are also used for POTA. Things like DX, let me see, what's it called? If I go do a search, DX spot, I think it's called. DX spots. Yeah, there's a DX cluster here. This is one that I use a lot for DXing, and there you can see in here sometimes there's parks on the air spots as well. I'm trying to, yeah, right here's one in fact. Oops. Now, since I'm a novice at Parks on the Air, I don't know if their administrators or their participants have created methods for spotting parks on the air other than on their web page or through the DX spot pages. But I do know of at least 6 different methods that somebody can use to be spotted for summits on the air. I know of the web page that they can use for summits on the air. There's also using an app on a cell phone. There's SMS messaging, APRS, InReach satellite, and a reverse beacon network. All 6 of them can be used to spot summits on the air activations and those spots end up landing right here on this page. I plan to go over these methods in a future video, but today I want to briefly talk about the Reverse Beacon Network, or RBN gate. The RBN gate is an automatic spotting system for Morse code only. Since I use CW almost exclusively on my activations, I find that it's a very effective method for spotting. So to use the RBN gate, you simply have to put up an alert on the SOTA website. And that's done by going to the Alerts tab and entering in your information after you click on Add Alert. So what you do is you enter in all of your information and click Add Alert, and then you'll see the alert appear on this site. There, I've added it twice. Actually, I actually added a different one. This is for Blacktop Mesa. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that back out. To be effective, you should call CQ by sending the CQ 3 times and then your call sign. Something like CQ, 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 DE, NJ7V, NJ7V, K. Other slight variations may work as well, but this is pretty much the standard way to get the RBN network to work. You need to send Morse code in that structure. When you do, the alert, which is set up here for you at 1900 hours, it'll spot you. You have to be within an hour before or 3 hours after this alert time, or you won't be spotted. So for example, for this one, I have to be sending Morse code CQ, 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 DE, NJ7V, NJ7V, K between 1800 hours and 2200 hours. If I do, then because this alert is up and because the RBN gate is working, it'll find my radio signal and it'll spot me right here. These are the current spots of all the Summits on the Air activations that are going on. There is a way to adjust the time frame of 1 hour before and 3 hours behind, and that's done by adding a S minus a number or an S plus a number. I'm going to go back to my alert that I had set up for coming up here in tomorrow. And I don't have anything in the notes here for this one. I'm going to edit this. I'm going to add in the comments this note that I had previously. S minus 3, S plus 6. That means instead of 1 hour before and 3 hours after 1900 UTC, I want it to be 3 hours before and 6 hours after 1900 UTC. By putting those codes in, you will be able to change the default time frame. If you happen to add 2 alerts that overlap in that time frame, let me do that again real quick. I'll go up here, add alert, I'm going to put 2100. And now that that alert is set, I'm going to go down and look at it as well as the other one that I have previously set. Now you'll notice 1900 hours and then 2 hours later is another peak that I may intend to activate, but it's 2 hours difference, not 3. So what happens in this case is there's a tiebreaker, and it really comes down to whatever alert is closest to the current time. So if it was, 2001 UTC, then the alert for PN079 would be used, and it would spot me there on PN079. If, for example, though it was at 19 or it was 2059 or 1959, I mean, only an hour out, then this peak is what I'd be spotted on. And so a standard and recommended practice for using the RBN gate when you have multiple peaks is to just enter an unrecognized summit reference such as REF or TBA, and then extend the time with those notes at the bottom. And then when you are calling CQ, your chasers will see that you're spotted, and they will know that you're to ask for your actual summit reference. So I'm going to delete this back out again. I'm going to create one more alert, and this time this alert is going to be something that I might use for a whole day of activating. If I don't know if I'm going to do 2, 3, or 4 summits, I'd put in my call sign association, and then I'd put like CS and then TBA. It doesn't matter if it's CS or whatever it is, as long as it's recognized, unrecognized summit, TBA, activation date. I'll use the same, and I'll put ETA at 1900 again, frequency, FM, and this time in the comments, I also will put, so I don't think I'll be any earlier than that. I might extend this to 8 if I want to stay late, and I'm going to add that. And now you'll see, when I scroll down, the summit is not recognized. But that's okay. When I'm calling CQ, anywhere between 3 hours before or 8 hours after 1900 UTC, which is pretty much the whole day, this is what's going to be spotted. Just disregard this one. Let's just pretend like this alert is not there, and this is the only one here that we have up. So pretty much all day, anytime I call CQ, this will be posted, the TBA instead of the specific peak. So what will happen, and let me go see if there is one out there right now. I know that there's one. If I extend the latest spots to like the last 3 days, I believe that JTM was spotted using this method. Let me maybe do a search for him, JTM. Okay, here we go. Not JTM, but NA6MG. He decided to put just a bunch of X's. Unrecognized summit. But he called CQ, and then what ended up happening was somebody spotted him later on. He got the RNB hole, but right here, it looks like somebody, I don't know who it was, or maybe it was he himself did, but somebody spotted him. It looks like it was an APRS actually. This is a way to avoid erroneous references on the spotting network so that you don't have to go back later and tell everybody that you got it wrong. And that's what happened with me on this Parks on the Air activation. I set an alert for Baby Black, which is W7A CS040, for 1600 UTC. And then I finished that peak and I went down to the car and drove over to Cinder Hills Overlook and started calling CQ again at 1800 hours, which was only 2 hours later. I was still within the 3 hour window, and so Baby Black got spotted for me, and even though I wasn't on Baby Black, that's what people thought, and so I ended up having to go over to the reflector and let's see if I put W7A stroke CS-040. There it is. I had to post this invalid activation in multiple places, explaining that I had the wrong reference, and people who thought that they were chasing me on a peak were actually chasing me on a park. Well, so thank you for watching. I hope that this was helpful to you. I really appreciate you watching and hope you'll come back again. Don't forget to subscribe below and also hit that bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video. Don't forget there's another one coming for this activation day, which is peak 7711. Probably a week after this one, I'll have that posted. You can follow me on Twitter, NJ7V_, or in Instagram at RedSummitRF. And so I'll catch you next time. Thank you.